Hi, I was at a CCHR meeting last night. CCHR stands for Citizens Commission on Human Rights. It's very, very high sounding, isn't it? If you look on their Facebook page, they claim to be Ireland's mental health watchdog. I doubt that very much. CCHR usually consists of two people. There's a few on the fringe, but the two main ones that you see around the place are a 90-year-old OT8 and a sort of like early 30s, maybe late 30s guy who has gone nowhere on the bridge to total freedom. That's Scientology's way out. The Citizens Commission on Human Rights, or CCHR for short, basically attack psychiatry and psychology, and they accuse them of knowing nothing about the mind because only Scientology and Dianetics knows about the mind, and Hubbard knew about the mind. He discovered these things, made these discoveries, and psychiatry and psychology know nothing. Hubbard says this over and over in his lectures that they can't even define their own terms. So let's turn to Handbook for preClears, because there's a chapter in here called The Human Mind. I'll just look at this and see what comes up. It is common to think of the human mind as something which just happened in the last generation or so. Is it? Is it common? If I went around and did a survey of 1,000 people, would most of them think that the human mind was something which happened in the last generation or so? I don't think so. I'm going to put that sentence down as gibberish. The mind itself is actually as old as the organism. What's the organism? I don't know. And according to earlier guesses and proofs established by this new science, Dianetics and Scientology, the organism, the body, is rather old. Oh, so organism is body. It goes back to the first moment of life's appearance on Earth. Okay, so if the body, the mind itself is actually as old as the body. Can't argue with that, I suppose. First, there was a physical universe, which happened we know not how. Ron doesn't know how the world was created. And then, with the cooling planets, there appeared in the seas a speck of living matter. That speck became eventually the complicated but still microscopic monocell. And then, as the eons passed, it became vegetable matter, then it became jellyfish, then it became a mollusk, and made its transition into crustaceans. And then, as a land animal, this particular tract of life, which became man, evolved into more and more complex... Hang on, I thought this was going to be about the mind, but anyway, let's stick with it. Man evolved into more and more complex forms. The tarsus, the sloth, the anthropoid, and finally man. There were many intermediate steps. Well, this is all very scientific, isn't it? Well, this is all very scientific, isn't it? A very materialistic man, seeing only the material universe, becomes confused and vague about all this. This is science? Okay, so there's a very materialistic man and he sees the material universe and he gets confused. Okay. He tries to say that living organisms are simply so much clay, wholly a part of the material universe. He tries to say that after all it's only the unending stream of protoplasm, and that's in inverted commas, so it must be a quote from somebody. It doesn't say who or why. Let's talk about being specific here, because all I'm reading here is generalities. He tries to say that after all it's only the unending stream of protoplasm, generation to generation, by sex, that is important. The very unthinking man is likely to make many mistakes not only about the human mind but the human body. The very unthinking man is likely to make many mistakes not only about the human mind but the human body. So people who don't think make mistakes. People who are very unthinking are likely to make mistakes about the mind and body. You see, this is not science. Is this going to replace psychiatry and psychology? Oh, I don't think so. Do you?